Okay, so Creeper World 3 Arc Eternal, very nice game, but I checked out on Steam. I'm gonna also show you the pointer. Oh, this is the pointer if you're interested. You can just type it out. I think it pretty much works all the time. You know. But basically, I checked out the guides section. There is a speed one, if I can find it. DMD speedrun. Yeah, this guy mentions something about if you want to be really, you know, on the clock. Like how many seconds does bird take, how many seconds, much travel time, worth it, everything. Terraforming costs. But I mean, there's not much video guides. I found this guy did a map. I'm gonna show you my strategy, how I do it. You know, this guy uses user Miksu. You can search for this video. In this map, campaign map, he uses shields to keep the creeper away. But I experimented with using the shields and I didn't like it, so I came up with my own strategy. Where is it? Let's launch creeper. Right. I'm just gonna go into a relatively hard map. I found one here. I think it was this one. Yeah, so it's first thing I would suggest, well, I mean, if you're not familiar with the game, well, go play the story missions, whatever. But if you're struggling but you want to get better at it, first check out the map. Going up against the creeper when it's on a high ground, creeper is like a fluid. It will flow down and fill up first this basin, then the next level of height, then this thing, then it will flood most of the map, then this thing will be unflooded, and lastly these are the high grounds, these areas. Oh, you can also check out, this meter jumps around. So see, this is the low ground, this is the highest ground, level 8, I think. So creeper is a fluid. Actually, there's a very useful video of Creeper World 4. So I mean, this is how the creeper looks like. See, it's a fluid. It stacks up on the terrain like this. This is Creeper World 4, but never mind. If you look at it from the top, this would be your high ground, and then low ground. Low ground gets filled first, but so if it builds up, like very high, like you see here, near the emitter, if it hit a high wall, if you terraform, for example, too close to the build-up, it will get on your wall, and then, because it's on the highest level, it can overflow everywhere, and quickly overrun all your base. If you, for example, if you built a wall, here along, to keep the creeper in this pool, but if it gets on your wall and suddenly it gets in your base, and you're screwed. But okay, that's maybe too far. What I'm suggesting is you take a look at the map first. So you see, this is a very hard map, considerably, because you have so very little time to claim this ground before the creeper floods, and you don't really have a lot of offensive before that. Well, offensive power to resist the creeper. So I got 3 orbital commands. Maybe I should... screw it. I'll just show you with 1. With 3 it would be a bit more... It would be, well, 2 times more effective because I have 2 more command centers. But whatever, for the purposes of showing it. And now comes the tedious part of the game. You know, you just select structure, collector, and you map out all the good land, so to speak. So just map it out, all out. You're not gonna get it, you know, it's for free, just queuing up. And it also acts as an alarm. If, for example, if this collector gets destroyed, you'll get a message, you know, and then you can just time yourself, just how quickly the creeper advances without having to check the map all the time. So let's see, I can easily just, but I won't be able to grab this ground, so you know, it will be overrun by the creeper. And you see that the creeper is positioned on the high ground first, and it makes it very, well, it will spread very fast because the first level of creep, you know, spreads very far, but the next build-ups are the ones that conquer higher and higher terrain. So level 1 will not reach, you know, my base, but it will overflood all this low ground area very quickly. So the very opening is quite important. Maybe I queued up too much around my base. You should queue up only 1 or 2. I'm leaving a space for some reactors, because if you build them here, that's the last, absolutely last ground that will overflow. And I'm gonna build a forge here. And once your forge is destroyed, you know, all the upgrades, all the investment you put into it is gone. You got to start from level 1 upgrades again when you rebuild the new forge. And as you can see, you can only build 1 forge at a time, so you can't really. So let's see, I'll just queue up the forge. It's not a beginning strategy, but the beginning strategy would be to place as many accessible, like for example, I won't be able to access this area, won't be able to access this area, but all of this area, limited high ground here and all of this, you should cover with your first reactors, and those will help you, you know, to build your first guns, so to speak. And you'll hold off this level 1 creeper. Oh man, it's not going well at all, is it? I'm gonna use cheat engine just to speed up the process, but normally that's how you would open up in every map, you know, you get every last. Get used to the controls. Like for example, Shift C removes the creep, but if you're in a menu, like for example if you were in a terraforming menu, your shortcuts don't work. Shift G, that's the one I usually hit, you know, when I want to hit G for terraforming. Oh, actually you can access the menu. Right, need more reactors. Just queue them all up, you know, don't worry about, you can't lose, and you're building, well, I mean, you lose once you lose the ground, you know, so, or your reactors. Now I have, well, enough-ish reactors. Maybe build my first cannon, try to hold this creep off. Yeah, and the other reason why you should inspect the map is when you're trying to conquer high ground, you know, you can't order your units to attack a specific location. So, for example, these pulse cannons will attack, well, I guess the closest enemy to them first and then in a circle. Mortars will target the highest, not the closest creep, but the deepest creep, or the highest, well, highest level of creep buildup. So it will, if it can reach, it would target here first and then going outside. Yeah, you see my cannon. Oh yeah, pause is very important button as well. I'm using tab as a default shortcut. Oh yeah, the forge is built, so I can just, you know, speed it up. Cheat engine just bugs out for whatever reason. You need to reopen it every time. Okay, so this is my saved pointer, but it's not working, huh? Oh, that's great. Then I'll need to try and see, was it here? The last one I saved. Let's try this one, maybe. Delete. So to max out the forge you only need 67600. That's enough. Right, so the new pointer, if you really want to know, you know, like this. But I can also give you this thing. And then you would go through scan for pointer, and that's a whole different thing. That's outside the scope of this video. Basically, now I got forge aether. I usually go max here, the move speed, the fire rate. I go 3 levels here. I mean, oh well, I could go. The energy efficiency, build speed, packet speed, I leave it at 25. That's when I run out of money and just click these 2 buttons. I don't know, I don't go higher fire range because of the mortars. But I guess I haven't experimented enough with the what's called. And so now you have R1, you know, space R1, cannon 2, mortar. You need mortars to deal with the build-up, and let's leave the defensive cannon here. So positioning or selecting units is very cool in this game. You know, you can either click the thing, this green thing where it moves, or the unit itself while it's in flight, or just awkwardly, you know, try to use, well, holding shift to select additional units. You know, you just gotta get used to it. It's a bit finicky, was what I'm saying. So when you highlight a mortar, just, you know, select an edge of the map, an edge of your territory, and just place the mortar there. So it will cover this area, and it won't cover this one. That's semi-important. Yeah, let's leave this cannon there. You can grab this thing maybe if you really wanted to. And now you have the leapfrogging. So usually I just use, well, let's use 3 terps, terraformers. Right, I should queue up some more reactors while I have the land. Yeah, so because creeper is a fluid, it will never, well, because the mortar shouldn't ever reach my reactors. At this maxed out level, it fires very efficiently. So let's see, just queue up everything. And this one is not connected. Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh. Oh no, come on. Really? I queued up too much. Alright, I'm gonna fast forward through this part. Let's the... Oh yeah, we're back. So... that was a bit of a hiccup. Let's see if it can clear it out in time. Whoop! There it goes! Oh! Never happened to me before. Okay. So yeah. So once you open up or whatever, this defensive mortar should take care of it. Right. Now normally you would just queue these up one by one, whatever. But basically, when assaulting the high ground, what I usually do is, you open the terraforming menu, you highlight the, see, you can't hide the, can't use the shortcut while the terraformer is open. So just remove the creep, shift C. But I kind of know the layout, so just hold shift T or whatever and select your the equivalent of highest ground that you're assaulting. It's currently level 6. Select brush size 1, and just around the edge of where your cannons are clearing out, just build the wall. Or you could just build a ditch, I guess, as well. Basically now you build, you select brush size 3, 1, 2, 3, build a thing, supply line, and just move your cannons in for the clearing out. Just wait for a little while, move your terraformers a bit closer. They're struggling. Whoop. Might need a mortar or two. I mean, they're on equal high ground, they should be able to push it back. Usually I use 5, maybe that's the reason. Let's see, R1, cannon. Push it back, terraform again. Move perch. Yeah, to hold the creep back you can just dig inside the ground like this. And it will make this flank less exposed. The cannon will still continue to fire on there. Like that. Or are they not able to clear the... they should be able to. Yeah, slowly they're clearing back the creep. And now, so this guy doesn't generate too fast. So either, again, select the ground that is here, it's level 6, so go like 3 or 2 levels below, and just out in the range of your cannons, you can either dig a moat, and then for a little while, this land is not gonna overrun by a level 1 creep, and now you can safely place your nullifier. Need a supply line, and there you go. That's how you would leapfrog it. Well, going against creeper in the low ground is easier, but that's how that's the way I found. So you see, this was a very hard-ish map to open on. It didn't have any spores or whatever. Those are a bit more advanced. For example, if and when you're cheating, don't submit the score, don't ruin the leaderboard. If you do. Yeah, and last thing I maybe want to go over If you have a map with islands, like for example here, you can't cross the gap, so unless you use the guppies supply line, which is, well, you need a lot of them. So for example, you know, like you need space for your ground units here, and then they transport the supply lines, you know, over there, and they land here, and so they need to go back and forth to keep the, you know, keep your forward line if you want to invade the island. And if you're thinking about moving your command center over to this island, once you've secured a good enough position, you know, you just gotta realize, you gotta be, if you only have one command center, like it usually is, you know, you gotta understand that you will lose all your forge upgrades. Well, yeah, because when this when command center flies away, I assume this is a starting location, you know, all your well, reactors and collectors, they will power down. They will not, you know, even if you have guppies, they won't be able to. I think you won't. Yeah, you can't draw power from them. So basically, if you invested anything in the forge that was built here instead of here, you lose all your upgrades. You know, either because you need to delete it and move it to your. Yeah. Well, I mean, if the command center sits here and you have forge here, it's all fine, because it supplies upgrades and, you know, like power-ups and whatever. But if it's not physically connected via collectors or what's it called, relays, then you lose all your reactors that you build here. So, but before you move your stuff, you know, you should queue up or build enough reactors so that when you fly over, you know, you already have everything set up. Plus, yeah, you gotta worry about rebuilding the forge and, you know, investing everything. If you, well, that's only if in the case if you want to eliminate the supply lines. And I think for the most part that's it. That's how you can conquer any mission, you know, like you wanna assault high ground, that's how you do it. Either you well, the range where cannons are at, either you build a moat to keep the creep away long enough, you know, so your cannons don't die instantly, but your supply line, either collector or probably you're gonna use the what's it called, well, I mean the supply line basically, collector, refinery, whatever. I call them refineries. Yeah, so they are destroyed pretty much instantly once the creeper, just even if it instantly touches it and is removed, whatever. You know, your supply line gets down and your cannons run out of ammo super fast, and then the creeper overwhelms you and you can't salvage, you know, you can't adjust, it all goes sideways, you know, and you gotta retreat and it's all over, and well, you gotta start all over, you know, the front line assault. And because creeper is a liquid, you know, you gotta watch out for buildups near, well, I mean, it will spread the highest level from the emitter around the edge of the map and all around and if you're not careful, the creep can flow in behind you. You know, if you're cutting like a knife all the way through deep creep, for example, that's built up high enough, and you don't leave some mortars behind your front lines, you know, like to reduce the level, that can screw you over. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching. That's how Creeper World functions. Hope this is helpful to you, and peace out. Uh, right. Well, maybe a quick bonus. I mean, there's nothing much to it, to finding the aether. Either use the pointer or, well, I mean, search for 4 bytes. You know, like this guy, creeper. Cheat engine. There's only one cheat engine video, I think. Yeah, I watched this 16-minute video just to find out that the guy was, well, basically the guy was just using 4 byte search for the aether value in the forge. And that's all. You didn't even need the 16-minute video. So there you go. I saved you some time. You know, it will give you 3 values. If you change one of them, it will. Well, you gotta guess. You know, like 2 of them don't work, but the third, when you change it, you know, the game updates it instantly, so you just go back and you check it and you're all good to go. But most likely you're not here for a cheat engine guide for Creeper World 3. But yeah, thanks for watching and peace out.